It has now nearly been 4 years since one of my favorite games of all time was released, and that's Sucker Punch's Ghost of Tsushima. If you've watched me for a while, you guys know I love to gush about this game any chance I get, and there's a lot of exciting things in the work for this IP that I cannot wait for. We've got the PC release for the game in like 3 weeks, there's a movie in production, and reportedly a sequel Sucker Punch has been working on for the past 4 years that may get an announcement very soon. It's a great time to be a Ghost of Tsushima fan, and Sucker Punch absolutely struck gold with this IP. And Sucker Punch has been a great studio for a long time now. They made the Sly Cooper and Infamous series, both very well received and beloved, and Ghost of Tsushima was a pretty ambitious and different type of game for them to make, and yet they absolutely nailed it. Even just visually and aesthetically, it's a very different game from their previous work. And what surprised me the most is that Sucker Punch only has around 160 employees. You're telling me this masterpiece was only worked on by 160 people? For my Assassin's Creed fans here, for some context, Mirage was worked on by Ubisoft Bordeaux, one of Ubisoft's smallest studios, and they still had 400 people working on that game, along with the support of other Ubisoft studios. So the fact that this game was made with less than half those numbers, that just blows my mind. And of course, the game sold incredibly well, even as a PlayStation exclusive, becoming one of PlayStation's best-selling first-party games. And now it's coming to PC in May. I'm so happy so many people who've been really wanting to play it for years, but didn't have a PlayStation, are finally going to get the chance to, except for Xbox players, unfortunately. And I know I'm gonna replay it on PC. The environments and overall aesthetic of this game is some of the best I've seen from any video game, and I can't even imagine how much better it's going to look on PC, with more graphic options and increased frame rates. It's gonna be a fun time. Oh, and all the mods as well. I fully expect to see some Assassin's Creed related mods. That would be awesome. Because as I've said many times, as an Assassin's Creed fan, Ghost of Tsushima is practically my dream game, finally fully realized. The port is also developed by Nixies, who have done a tremendous job with every PlayStation exclusive they've ported over to PC so far. They did the Spider-Man ports, along with both of the Horizon games, which were great PC ports, so I'm pretty confident Ghost of Tsushima is in good hands with them. So May 16th, I'm marking the calendar. It's gonna be like the summer of 2020 all over again. Well, you know, minus the pandemic. And as I said earlier, we have far more than just a PC port to look forward to. There's also a movie in development. That's right, a Ghost of Tsushima movie. When I first heard this news way back when, I was pretty skeptical, because video game adaptations seem to be a flip of the coin on whether or not they'll be good. Although they have been improving, it feels like lately, with The Last of Us and just recently Fallout. But once I heard Chad Stahelski was directing this movie, that skepticism faded. For those who don't know who he is, he's the director and producer of the John Wick movies, which in my opinion anyway, are some of the best modern action movies ever. They've definitely revolutionized the genre, and this pairing of director and source material feels like a match made in heaven. Can you imagine some John Wick level of action and choreography with the pace, brutality, and fluidity of it in a Ghost of Tsushima theme and aesthetic? Just imagine Jin carving up the Mongols with combat like the games, but on the big screen. Now, it hasn't been said if the movie will be a direct adaptation of the game's story, although I would think it would be. I mean, obviously they'd have to make some changes to it to fit a 20-hour story or whatever into a 2-ish hour movie, but I think this story could work very well as a movie. It has so many compelling, strong themes. I'd love to see Jin's struggle with honor and becoming the ghost be a big part of it. The movie has been described as a 13th century epic historical drama in feudal Japan, so I assume we're getting an adaptation of the game's story, and not something completely original, but who knows. They also said it was going to pay homage to the Kurosawa movies, which of course is perfect, as the game itself pays homage quite a bit as well. So yeah, video game adaptations are a slippery slope, but I trust the people behind this thing and Sucker Punch to ensure it's a faithful adaptation, so I'm pretty excited. Also, the game literally modeled Jin after his real-life voice actor, Daisuke Tsuji, so it'd be perfect to play Jin in the live-action movie. In fact, he's already said he would be down for that. The script is already done and they're going to start filming soon too, so we could probably expect to see this movie in the next year or two. If they're really smart, they may align the release of the Ghost of Tsushima sequel with the movie. Because yes, there is believed to be a sequel to Ghost of Tsushima in the works at Sucker Punch. Nothing has been officially announced yet, but Sucker Punch posted job openings last year that made it very evident that that's what they're working on. And according to Tom Henderson, a reliable leaker we talk about a lot here on the channel, not only is the game in development, but he also claims it's actually pretty close to being announced soon. A lot of people believe it'll be announced perhaps sometime this summer at one of the numerous PlayStation events, with the possibility of it having a 2025 release date. The timing would certainly make sense, with the PC port coming out and people getting all excited about Ghost of Tsushima again. That's the perfect time to make the announcement. And look, I try to hold back my excitement on new game announcements for all the times we've been burned in the past, but a Ghost of Tsushima sequel will be one of my most anticipated games in my entire life. I'm not even exaggerating. They've built such a fantastic foundation in the original game that a sequel could capitalize and improve on even further. Sucker Punch really struck gold here with this IP. With however many games they decide to make, whether it's a trilogy or something like that, there's so much potential. The sequel is also set up for Jin to likely leave the island Tsushima and head for the mainland in Japan, which means more urbanization, dense cities, and hopefully improved free running and parkour. Sucker Punch has experience in making larger, playground-like cities with the Infamous series, so I think they could pull it off really well in Japan as well. And then all the improvements they could make on the already great combat and stealth. I'd also be really intrigued to see the next chapter in Jin's story as the Ghost. It's just brimming with so much potential, it's gonna be impossible for me to rein in my excitement. The end of this year and next year is already looking so stacked for games. You throw a Ghost of Tsushima sequel on top of that, in a year where we're already getting a game like GTA 6? What a time to be a gamer, huh? But how do you guys feel about all of this, and what are some of your top wishes for a Ghost of Tsushima sequel? Are there any PC players who are going to play the game for the first time in May? As always, if you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you left a like, and consider subscribing to the channel if you're new. And other than that, a special thank you to my members for supporting me, and thank you for watching everyone. I hope you have a good rest of your day.
実